All right, guys, what's happening? Hope everyone is going well. UFC 328 in the books. We've got a sold out crowd, 14,385. The UFC in this arena is top 1, 2, 3, and 4 now. We've got the highest gate. The sport and the UFC brand is just getting bigger and bigger by the month. It's exciting times ahead. Performance of the night. Yaroslav, Jim Miller. I'm going to give Joshua Van something. And I'll give Sean Brady something as well. A really, really dominant performance against someone's very good, like Buckley. I've got one more spot for a bonus. We'll figure that one out in a little bit. Fight of the night. Obviously, no question. Tatsuro Taira versus Joshua Van. Actually, no. I might as well give Taira a performance of the night as well. So there you go. Congratulations to all of those fighters. Money over to you. Van and Taira, you get double. Like I said, I've got one more bonus to give. I'll figure that one out in a little bit. All right, who's got the first question?
King Green is going to be very mad at you that he didn't get a bonus. He was shouting at you.
King? Bobby. I love the guy, but I'm never calling him. I'm never calling anyone King. Bobby looked good. Bobby looked really good. I personally thought, he's a tough one. The people on the same level as him, similar age, similar records, he kind of destroys them. So then when myself and the matchmaking come together, we try to give him someone better. He just can't step that line and beat them. So it's a bit of a tough decision of what we fight next or who we give him, but it's a good problem for him to have. He beats the people he should beat in front of him. He's mentioned he wants some shorts, so we'll get him those shorts as well. I did see a video, I believe, of his press conference where he said his girl took some money off him. So, look, you're a grown-ass adult. You make your own decisions. You make your bed type of thing. But, look, come on. We're not only going to give him some shorts. Don't worry. I'm not going to give you the amount, but we'll look after Bobby Green as well. He did well. He performed well. He'll get something. Yeah, good on Bobby Green. Can't argue with that. Jeremy Stevens. Yeah, I think we need to have a chat with him. I think myself, Hunter, or Mick will have a bit of a chat with him. But yeah, Bobby, it looked good. Looked really, really good. We'll look after him.
We'll look at that main event. How did you view the main event? What did you think of both men's performances? And how did you score the main event?
Yeah, wow, I personally had it 2-2. Hamza, definitely the first round. Second, third, fourth. I had it 2-2 coming into the fifth. And I had Strickland winning it, yeah. Got to be honest with you, even though I'm the promoter, I really thought Hamza was going to just do what Hamza does. Within the first 5-10 seconds, absolutely lunge over to his opponent and try to submit them within the very first couple of minutes. Strickland looked good, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure if it was the weight cut or something looked off. I was talking to Hunter right next to me, and within the first 5 seconds, I'm thinking, I even asked him, does Hamza look off? Something about him looked off. Here's the thing. I've seen that guy fight all the way in the Contender Series. I've been at the front row for every one of his fights, and I can tell you, the guy that fought Strickland was not the same guy as all the other times I've seen him fight. I'm not taking anything away from Strickland, but Hamza just looked really, really different. Like I said, I'm not sure if it was the weight cut or lack of professionalism. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, the second round, him pulling guard. You know how I always say this sport needs holy shit moments? That was a holy shit moment for me in a different way. Round 2, Chimaev pulling guard. I literally went, holy fucking shit. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. But like I said, hats off to Sean. He did well. Sean does what Sean does. Strickland gonna Strickland. Can't argue with that. Not a bad fight.
Were you surprised that Hamzat stayed on the feet for so long?
I was. I think it goes back to what I was saying. I think he chose to stay on the feet because he was tired. And this is probably a bit of a, once you find out how to beat someone, this lines up the blueprint for everyone. But we really haven't seen him gone by the Gilbert Burns fight, where it's been a back and forth. It's just been him steamrolling. Was I surprised? I was. I was surprised because for me, him standing up was him telling himself or convincing himself, I'm not going to be able to submit this guy. And that was a huge wow factor of, okay, here we go. He is also finding out what he's got. This was a huge, huge moment for Hamzat Chimaev as well, where we're trying to figure out, does he have that dog in him? Now, I was surprised. I was very surprised.
Is that what you attribute? In the second round, right, he went for a couple of takedowns and looked like he just sort of collapsed on himself. Is that what you attribute that to, maybe the weight cut? And were you impressed with the fact he was able to get himself back into the fight after looking so gassed?
Yeah, absolutely. Literally just what I said. I was dumbfounded, gobsmacked. When he pulled guard, I was speechless. I think so many of the fans would have been speechless as well. And all those people who bet on Sean Strickland, I think they're thinking, no way. This is actually going to happen. I don't know how Strickland does it, but even every time when he's such a huge underdog, he somehow manages to do it. He's nuts. He's fucked in the head. But he knows how to get those moments, similar to when him versus Izzy, when he dropped Izzy. Couldn't believe it. Something just felt off. That's all I can say. I don't want to take away anything from Strickland, but something just felt off with Chimaev. It wasn't the Chimaev that I've seen in recent time. In fact, in all time.
Sean Strickland now has wins over Hamzat Chimaev and Israel Adesanya at middleweight, and I think it's kind of wild, right? You look at his style, he's got a quirky style, but he has wins over some of the best in this division's history. Where do you view Sean Strickland at in that division, and how impressed are you that he's been able to beat guys like Hamzat?
Where do I rank him? Look, you could arguably say Israel right now is the best middleweight we've seen. Nah, too many times I think. This sport especially, the GOAT, this sport is all about recency bias. I'm well aware of it. The GOAT talk changes every fucking day. But yeah, no, Strickland, he beat... I said it earlier. There were 3 fighters who I personally could never see losing. Ilya, Chimaev, and Makhachev. They had that mystique aura about them. And now Chimaev lost. I don't know. I really don't know, because we all know what Strickland's going to do. He doesn't change his fighting style too much at all. But it somehow works. You got to give respect where respect is earned. It's a crazy run. Do I put Strickland among the GOATs? Probably not yet. In fact, I don't think Strickland gives a shit about Mount Rushmore or GOAT talk or anything like that. He's just here to fight, collect his money, and bounce. But no, it is absolutely... It's surprising. It's commendable. Sean Strickland, has a win over Israel Adesanya and Hamzat Chimaev. I respect it, I admire it, but you gotta laugh about it in some way, shape or form. There is a funny side about it, no doubt. Yeah, crazy.
How did you score the Alexander Volkov-Waldo Costa fight earlier?
Yeah, jeez. That was a fun fight, wasn't it? It's weird. With heavyweights, you either have just... I don't know what's been going on. There's not much I can do. But with the heavyweights, not recently, for a while, it's either absolute barn burners, you get Hockett versus Blades type of fights, or you kind of get the Ngannou-Lewis type. This wasn't that great, I admit it. But I did have Volkov winning just by a little bit. I think it came down to just his maturity and his IQ. He used his range and his size. So I had Volkov winning. I did, yeah.
A couple outside about the White House press conference we enjoyed the other day. When Josh Hockett is screaming at Alex Pereira and Ilia Topuria, and then Alex Pereira stands up, what exactly goes through your mind?
I loved it. You know, I didn't expect it at all. Basically, before any press conference, me and the guys and head of security, we come together and... Look, I've been in this business for a long time. I know kind of what's going to happen before it happens. But Josh Hockett having a verbal altercation with Ilia Topuria, that was not on my bingo card at all. So, yeah, no, I didn't expect that one. But what I feel about it, I loved it. And when Alex stood up, Nothing to worry about. Pereira, he's a mature dude. He just stood up, just probably his way of saying, don't worry, we're good, we're good. My guys, they knew what was happening, but not too much. But I loved it, Fair play to Ilya, looks after the ones who don't speak English, which I appreciate. We're a global sport. Whilst English is the most powerful language in the world, we are a global sport. Fighting, anyone can fight. Go outside your backyard, get a boxing gloves, away you go. It was fun. And Hokit, look, I would be honest. I would say Hokit, I would be the first one to say he's a fucking idiot. But after his performance against Blades and who he is inside the octagon, do whatever you want, say whatever you want. It just started to get a little bit dicey, so we had to kick him out. But if I could have his time again, nah, let him stay. My security, they would have done their thing. And like I said, when Pereira stood up, it was a bit of a badass moment, let's be honest, You ever seen Pereira recently? From middleweight to light heavyweight to now heavyweight, he is massive. He's scary. I even told my security, you need Pereira as your security. It's a funny one, isn't it? UFC fighters having security. That's what we got to do. That's just to make sure that there's no fights happening. But like I said, Pereira, he's a stand-up dude. Nothing was going to happen. I was pretty confident nothing was going to happen. From a spectator point of view, it was fun. I loved it. I couldn't believe it. It was fun.
You've obviously done a lot of media for the White House this week, and we've had press conferences and stuff. How excited are you for that card? How much are you feeling the buzz now that you've been out and done the media and we started talking?
Yeah, I know
Yeah, huge. Really, really feeling it. It's for the next month or so, right? We had this huge build up with just now Strickland and Chimaev. What you got to do in this business is sometimes when there's big fights. Okay, let me explain it. Basically, we have weekly fights, and our aim is to give as much undivided hype and attention to that fight and card without it taking attention away from others. However, on the occasion where there's really big fights, months or weeks in advance, we want to start promoing and advertising that fight even during a different card happening. So with the White House card, we've been advertising this one for a long time. However, Strickland and Chimaev was so big in hype that even whilst I found out we were advertising the White House card, it was all Strickland and Chimaev. Now that fight's done, it's White House time. And yeah, the buzz is happening. I spoke to the president a couple of days ago. We sat down together. He looked at the setup. Thousands, I believe 50 or 70,000 people can sit outside. 1,200 or 2,200, I can't fully recall how many next to the octagon. But the buzz is huge. And like I said, Hokit and Ilya, the numbers that they brought was quite polarizing. It was pretty nuts. But that's the fight game. Looking forward to it. Really looking forward. It's going to be good. And yes, as time goes on, where if the infrastructure is going more and more, the seating, I'm just praying. I don't believe in any God. I'm not a religious person. But I'm just praying that it does not rain. I saw a couple of days ago it rained and... I've been telling the president, that's all right, we've got this all under control, but there's only one man I'm really trying to ask that it does not rain on that night. But besides that, no, it's going well. Promo's going good. It's exciting times ahead. Ilya putting both belts on the line. He's got both belts. Justin, 2-time interim. Exciting times. Really, really exciting. Can't wait.
I'm not asking you to shit talk them, but obviously next week Ronda Rousey is fighting Gina Carano on Netflix. They are billing that as the biggest MMA fight of all time. Do you believe the White House event will probably eclipse those numbers?
I think I got to give it to Jake Paul. I got to give it to him. He's a little shit, but he's doing something right. So in this business, you got to give props where respect and props is given. I think the White House card will be bigger. I think we'll have more eyes. But no doubt, Netflix is a huge franchise. Massive franchise. I've known Ronda really, really closely. I've worked with her alongside of her. I have nothing bad to say about her or Gina. I wish them all the best. We'll see. We will see. I'll be very intrigued to see what the numbers are, but I can tell you right now, from the numbers that we're seeing so far, White House numbers are looking extraordinary. Extraordinary. And last time I used that word extraordinary was Conor Khabib numbers. So I'll leave you with that.
What did you make of? I know you gave fight of the night, but just Joshua Van's performance overall seems kind of like a promoter's dream. Like young fighter, has wicked fights, just seems to want to fight all the time. Just kind of what do you make of his kind of emergence as this?
Yeah, huge fan. Love it. I love this shit. He's 24. If he looks after his health, doesn't become stupid with his money and fame, doesn't change who he is, this guy has limitless potential. And yes, as a promoter, I love it. He's fun to watch. He's absolutely fun to watch. So like I said, I'm giving him performance bonus and performance of the night. Both of them. You know what? Fuck it. After you mentioned it, I'm giving him another 50 grand. Him and Tatsuro Taira. Screw it. Fuck it. That fight was awesome. I love that shit. I do. So you know what? Thank you, sir. Fuck it. Tyra and Van, you just got yourself another 50 grand. Congratulations. I love it. I hope that answers your question. Marketable, charismatic, loves to just stand and bang. Really good guy. And he's a Christian as well. He's got good values. Love it, love it, love it.
I assume it's safe to say Pantoja is next for him.
Oh, Pantoja's next. Yeah, Pantoja's next. Yeah. Yeah, Pantoja's next. I spoke to him just after the event. He looked at me and he just said, sorry, boss, you're Wonder Kid. He's going to give me that belt again back soon. So, exciting times. Yes, Pantoja is next. I'll get the promo guys to start putting a post out right now saying Pantoja's next.
Did you hear about the Sean Brady weird betting lines that were happening?
Fucking hell, did I hear about it? My phone's been blowing up. It's all I've been... I woke up this morning, I got a text from Hunter, first thing in the morning, saying, you seen what's going on? I'm like, for fuck's sake. Anytime Hunter sends me a message first in the morning, it's either, something out of the norm has happened, or, the main or co-main event is pulled out. And yeah, I saw it. My guys are all over it. And I did see the lines. And don't worry, just like you guys, I wanted to make sure the fight did not stop, did not get cancelled. We had a look at it. I spoke with the Federation team members as well, got that sorted. But yeah, the first couple of hours, it was a little bit dicey. I did see the swing from Buckley to Brady, but no, got that sorted pretty quickly. I don't know exactly why or what happened. And the strange thing is, it's been happening a fair bit recently, which I fucking hate, because then it questions the integrity of the sport. It questions the integrity of who I am as the CEO and the business that we have. I think I'm going to, actually, Lene, book me a meeting with the head of management and the commission as soon as possible. We need to stamp this out immediately. It's happening a fair bit too often nowadays.
A little bit of a very sad note. I don't think anyone was aware, but Grant Dawson was back here and informed us that his wife and him were trying for a kid and they lost it on Monday of fight week. I'm curious if anyone from the promotion had heard about that, and pretty like he ignored it, but it clearly affected him at the end of the fight.
Whoa, wait, sorry. No, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So Grant Dawson, him and his wife had a miscarriage, on Monday, just gone? 5-6 days ago. Shit. No, I did not. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. Wow, that's... Shit like this puts so many things into perspective. We'll reach out to Grant's team, and I went to the casino last night and I had a decent win. I had a really decent win. But after hearing that, yeah. We'll take care of Dawson. We'll take care of him. That's bone crushing. I'll send him a message. I might give him a call later on today, and I was not aware, but we'll take care of him.
And then just last one for me. You said that you were pretty confident Conor would return this summer. He had been tweeting a lot about his contract situation and everything over the last several months. Is anything new with Conor's contract, or is it still like this?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I spoke to him a while ago, but for the past few years, I know I've been saying Conor's coming back, he's keen, but we just haven't been able to get anything done. But what I can tell you from the last few bits and pieces of comms that I have had with Conor, he's itching. He is really, really itching to get back in there, and so are we, In terms of your question about the contract side of things, it's a little bit different now that we're not pay-per-view. We've got Paramount Plus. We need to sit down with Conor and his management because his contract is a little bit different. I'm not going to go into the specifics of it, but his contract is a little bit different just because of the magnitude of a Conor fight, We all know if I was to put Conor against a rat, back in the pay-per-view days, we would still do over 2 million buys. That's how big his name is. So, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. It's a conversation we need to figure out and have to talk through now that we are no longer in pay-per-view, but we'll get that done. Yes. I wish I could give you some more actual update, but I'm really confident 2026, the Notorious will be back inside the octagon. I'm very, very confident. I mean, fuck's sake, I said Aspinall Jones was going to happen and it was 100%. So, hey, we'll say 99.9% you'll see Conor McGregor in 2026.
Did you anticipate that Sean and Hamzat would be so kind to each other after the fight?
No, that was... Look, I get it. I've been in this industry for a long time. You talk shit about someone, you hate them, you say, oh, you this, you that. But as soon as you share the cage with someone, it's an instant perspective shift. But like I said, I've been in this business for so long. There are some fights where I know it's going to remain the same. Conor Khabib, DC Jones. Oh, I can't think of any. I thought Chimaev and Strickland were similar. I was a bit surprised. Did I like it? No, I didn't. I respect it, and there's nothing we can do. I'm not going to tell Sean. I'm not going to tell Hamzat Chimaev. Keep hating on him. If they make peace and shake hands, fair play. But it's like these WWE guys giving a lot of behind the scenes of what they're doing. There are some things that if you're going to make the peace, just don't do it on camera. That's kind of my. If you're going to hate each other all the way. So. My guys in security, we were expecting, even fist thrown after the post-fight interview with Rogan. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a little bit different. What can you do? What can I do? What can any of us do? I guess that hatchet is buried.
And in a normal situation, like split decision, undefeated champion, it seems like everything would be set up for a rematch given their history and everything. But it seemed like Hamzat really struggled to make the weight this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Will Hamzat get an immediate title rematch? No, not at all. No. I want to start making it that if you are the champion and you lose your title fight, you don't go back to the number one contender, you go to number 5. Being number 5 is still not bad, but you don't go back to number 1. You go back to number 5 and you verse someone in the top 5, then you go be the number 1 contender again. You got to earn being the number 1 contender again. That's what it is. So no, Hamzat, he will not get an immediate rematch. That's definitely it. When we'll see him again, I'm not entirely sure. Although at the back, he did pull me aside, and the first thing he said is, I'm going upper class. So what I said earlier, I think it is quite true about his performance and his weight cut. I'm not sure how much or how specific he was about it, but those were his first words. I'm going up another weight class. So maybe the rematch won't even be there because he's not even in that weight class anymore.
I know it's very soon, but do you feel like he probably needs a fight to earn the title shot there and stuff like that?
Yeah, like I said, this is something I want to put into action or effectively. If you're the champion and you lose, you go to number 5. The other 4s are waiting in line. They deserve that. And if you are the champion again, you'll get back up there. But yeah, effective immediately. If you are the number 1, if you are the title and you lose it, you go to number 5. No longer will you be the number 1 contender.
And the other bonus went to Yaroslav Amosov, and he was a former Bellator champion. A lot of those guys have had some struggles coming over here, but he's been unreal. 30-1. Is he kind of in line for a big push here and maybe another big opportunity?
Yeah. He looked good. He looked really good. I even said to Hunter while they're fighting, he made Joel Alvarez, he made him look like nothing. Alvarez is a beast. That kid, yes, as you guys know, anytime these kids come from the lower leagues, in the twos, in the B tier, they come to the UFC. It's a bit of a wake-up call. But when I watched him fight, I don't usually do this because, we've seen it in the past where there have been some promising fighters, and this is probably on me and the matchmakers. We've given them too much of a leap. And it hasn't gone their way because they're not ready. I don't know if I could say Darren Till is an exact example, but a similar situation. But with this guy, yeah. On Tuesday, matchmakers and I think we're going to give him a big jump, a big leap. 30-1. He looks good. He looked damn good. Scary, scary division. Scary, scary fighter. Yeah, absolutely.
And back to the thing with Hokit at the White House press conference. I know you don't want anything to happen, especially that fight week. Do you have to think about how that press conference is going to be during fight week? Like, can you have him and Ilya and Alex up there again?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Let him. This is the fight business, right? This is a fight business. We're the only sport where you can say whatever you want. It's free speech. And at the end of the day, you get to punch each other in the face about it. Yes, Hoka and Ilya, they're never going to fight. But yeah, it's fun. It adds more views. Love it. Fucking love it. Do it. Maybe we'll get a question to O'Malley this time. I know. I couldn't believe it. Not one. That's on you guys. None of you asked O'Malley one question. How is that possible? You had one job and you didn't ask O'Malley one thing. Come on. Fucking hell. But yeah, nah, it's fine. Nothing to worry about. We may sit them next to each other again. It'll just be fun. Can't argue with that.
As far as what could be next for Sean, Nasruddin Imavov obviously wanted this opportunity tonight. He was cage side. That's a rematch. They fought before. Would that kind of make sense?
Imavov's next, yes. I believe I've already told the social team they're going to put a post up very, very soon. And not announce the fight, but at least announce that Imavov is next. Nasruddin, yeah. He's earned it. It will be a good backstory. They've already versed each other. He's next. What I want to do and what the UFC need to do is we need to keep the simmer going. I don't want to just pour a bucket of cold water as soon as the fight card finishes and the whole talk of the town is, who's he fighting next? Who's he fighting next? And, people would just say, I don't know. I want to keep that simmer going. So then when people are saying, who's he fighting next? They'll go onto social media and say, oh shit, it's been announced that this is in the works. Absolutely. There's 2 title fights for you guys already. You can start headlining. You can start putting in your announcements in your news. Pantoja versus Fan. And we've got Imavov versus Strickland. When that is, I've got no idea. Location, no idea. But those are the 2 title fights coming up. It's like in WWE. If you think about it, in WWE, they very, very rarely allow a champion to bask in the champion winning. It's so often, as soon as someone wins, they get 10, 15 seconds and or some different background music. They're already onto the next storyline. That's something I don't ever want to do. Like I said, I don't want to pour a bucket of cold water on all the post-fight chat and antics of who's this, who this. That's what keeps the sport growing and keeps it moving forward. So, yep, there you go, guys. Keep talking away. Who wins? Imavov versus Strickland, Van versus Pantoja. There you have it.
You mentioned that you had a brief back and forth with Hamzat where he said he wants to move up. Did you guys say anything else? Can you tell us anything about the interaction between you and him after the fight?
Yeah, I saw him at the back and he's beaten up bad. His face is pretty battered. Last thing you want to do is the last thing any fighter wants to do is talk about while they're in pain. The adrenaline is slowly wearing off and then the pain starts to sink in. So I didn't want to ask him too much. But I just shook his hand and said, "Unlucky, mate. Unlucky. Tough game. That's the game we play. Rest up. I'll speak to your team in due time." And yeah, he looked at me and he said, "I'm going up a weight class," and that was it. No further conversation. Although I tell you what, I bumped into Armin Sarukian just afterwards, and even Armin said Hamzat looked different. So again, that's not my job to find out and speculate what happened behind closed doors. You have a job, and that is to make weight and be at that weight as healthy as you possibly can. Maybe you guys can find that out. But even Armin, who's very close to Hamzat, said he did not look himself. So that was basically the conversation that we had. He's sad. He's very, very sad. He's sad. Not much else we can... Yeah, it was a pretty quick conversation. Not much else.
What's your reaction to that? I mean, the guy did fight at welterweight and then having a hard time making it at middleweight. Are you like, do you think that he applied himself, or you think he just naturally, like, you like that idea?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, it's a human being, a bloke going 3 different weight classes. I don't know. Maybe, I believe as we get older, obviously it's a bit harder to lose that weight. We get a bit bigger. I don't know as well as in his training, is he doing such heavy workouts and lifting that his body and muscle is just getting bigger? I really don't know. But from what he just said, he's not going down. He's only going up. Well, that's probably without. I wish I could give you more info, but I need to speak with him and probably his team in a few weeks or a couple of months just to really figure out what happened. Yeah, when the fighter first thing says, "I'm going up a weight class," I think we can read between the lines a little bit there.
Maybe that's an answer to this next question, but you obviously were drawn to him so much. That's part of what set him on this path, and then everyone knows the health issues and inactivity. Do you feel like he has lived up to what you first saw at Fight Island?
Did he reach his potential? I get your question. I know what you mean. It's at the end of the day, if you become UFC champion, remember UFC champion means that you could beat the shit out of anyone that weight and below. Sometimes, and that's something I'm still trying to work on, to add more weight and more oomph factor to what a UFC champion is. But that is literally what it means. If you're the 185-pound champion in the UFC, you can beat the shit out of anyone 185 pounds and below. That is what it means. And that's a crazy, crazy stat. Billions of people. Or at least hundreds of millions of people you can beat. Completely forgot your question, but did he live up to his potential? I thought we were looking at, in my early days, when he had his 2 wins inside a week or 2 weeks. I thought, okay, we're looking at, history, Guinness World Records type of stuff. Insane. Then, yeah, unfortunately the sickness and then COVID happened. And then for a while, he was fighting once a year. It was a bit tough. I think I'm going to say yes and no. He definitely lived up to his expectation because he became champion. Fair fucking play. You're a champion. But I thought he could do more. I thought he would have done more. But when it comes to health is always important. So he's very much said it from the beginning. His family, his mum, they don't have to worry about money anymore. So who gives a shit what I think, right? Yeah. He's doing well.
White House itself, how do you estimate and predict something like this of a one-on-one? But you feel like just projections and numbers?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I really do, and I wish I could give you a more concrete response. But basically, like I said, with the numbers, with what the trajectory is looking, this will be the most viewed UFC event on paper. I hope it delivers. There's a few things. There's a few barriers, but yeah, sorry, bro, I can't give you too much right now. Apologies. But we've been advertising that this is the biggest sporting event, not UFC event, sporting event in history. For fuck's sake, we're fighting at the White House. You've never seen that shit before. You're not going to see that again. We're fighting at the White House. You're going to have the President of the United States and his whole team and military watching Ilia Topuria, Derek Lewis walk out. It's pretty nuts. Pretty crazy.
So you had Jim Miller goes out, picks up a big win in his home state. Obviously, a lot of emotions going through with his family and what his son had experienced over the last year. How much had you been kind of familiar with his situation?
Yeah, crazy. I don't know how he does it. You know what I mean? The guys at the back. What is Jim Miller? 87 years old. And he's still... Look, I'm a human being, but I'm a boss at the end of the day. And my role is to put the best guys in fighting together. And no matter how well I get along with you, if you are not delivering, if your best days aren't ahead, I'm sorry. I'll shake your hand, wish you all the best. Enjoy PFL. Enjoy Bellator. But Jim, he still manages to win. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. And yes, you guys don't know, but this was his last fight coming up. And we renewed him for another 5 fights. So on paper, he will... If he fights out all 5 of those fights, that would be 51 fights in the UFC, which is just astronomical. Ludicrous numbers. 51 fights in the UFC. The longevity is... It's insane. It's insane. It's a Hall of Fame career in its own right, I think. Legend. To be in fighting in the highest league for 51 potential fights. Yeah, wow. That deserves to be... That's a commendable stat. And that deserves to be commended and applauded.
And much has been talked about UFC in Spain. Obviously, Joel Alvarez didn't have one of his best nights, but we have Ilia Topuria, a double champion, and there's a lot of new Spanish from Spain talent in the UFC. Can you comment on a possible date, something that has been in the works, possibly for next year, when UFC Spain could happen?
Yeah. I think, if I'm being honest, myself, and I'll take full responsibility, I think we've been a bit lazy when it comes to fighting in other countries. We've been wanting to go to Spain. We have a Spain champion, but not a champion. Ilia is arguably the face of the UFC. Yeah, I think a couple of weeks ago, myself and the team got together, and it was a bit of a wake-up call for us. I had a chat with them, and I said, what are we doing? You know, when Dricus was champion, we really should have gone to South Africa. Ilia's champion, we really should be going to Spain or Georgia. When Morale was champion, we should have gone to Georgia. You got to understand, it's quite hard as well. It's not as simple as just picking up a phone and booking something and done. It's definitely not like that. But I do agree. Being a little bit... I'll take responsibility for that one. I know every time we do an Apex card, the first comment is, why are we still doing Apex cards in 2026? I hear you. I do. It's something we need to be better at, no doubt. But yes, to your question, Spain, let me just say, if Ilia beats Justin, the next day, I'm on the phone to Spain. I'll leave it at that. Okay?
Buddy the Buddy and BSD are teasing a fight for International Fight Week. Can you give us confirmation? Because it can be a huge fight for European fans.
Yeah, look, really excited for that one. You know, you're absolutely right. France versus England, big rivalry, big stakes. Obviously, when it comes to the football, there's huge rivalry. And I think that's a really, really great fight. Paddy coming off, he wasn't happy with his performance, no doubt. And BSD looking good. Yep, you're right. Can't wait for that one. That's a really big fight. Wait, did we announce that fight? Well, shit. Fuck. Tell the social media guys right now to announce it. You got me. You got me. It's announced. Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint Denis. Location, TBC. Sorry. Damn it.
We have right now several French fighters in great position in the UFC. Obviously, Cyril Gane, who's going to fight on the White House card. Benoit Saint-Denis, Nasruddin Imavov, Manon Fiorot. You guys already confirmed you coming for the 5th time in September in Paris. Is there any chance this time is going to be a numbered event with maybe a title fight on the line?
Yeah, it's a great question, and probably exactly what I said earlier. I take full responsibility. I think we just need to be a little bit more on the game. And you're right, coming to France 5 times now. We love France. I will tell you right now, even as an American, France has the best atmosphere in anywhere in the world. The French crowd are insane. I guess the only thing is usually if we do a numbered event, it's a title fight, right? So let me tell you this. If Garn wins, to the French, if Cyril Garn beats Alex Pereira in the White House, get ready. And stay tuned.
Although Tatsuro Taira lost the fight, could you share your thoughts on the possibility of the UFC holding events in Japan in the near future?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I keep saying it, similar to what the last 2 or 3 questions have been. I can tell you this though, if Tatsuro Taira had won tonight, I'm on the phone to your country right now. I'm on the phone right now to the consulate of Japan saying, get me an arena. Here's the principle is that I need a champion from your country. If I can't at least have a champion from your country, then it makes it a little bit difficult to have a papered event. Okay? I can do a fight night. We can do a fight night and definitely want to do a fight night. But it's a bit tough without having a champion. Tatsuro Taira, though, and obviously Japan, that would have been potentially the first UFC, not potentially, it would have been the first UFC fighter from Japan to be a champion, which would have been really, really remarkable. But yes, sir, absolutely. We would love to go back to Japan. We need to go back to Japan. And look, the UFC is all about having the best fighters in the world, but when it comes down to doing business, I really believe you can do business without having to stamp on the other heads of competitors. So, let me tell you this, if Japan's not at the forefront right now, but when we go to Japan, I will be reaching out to a bit of the regional scene in Japan and seeing if we can get as many, Japanese debutants into the UFC. That's what I could do for you. Is that all right? Cool, but you're absolutely right. We would love to go to Japan. I love ramen. I fucking love Japanese food. Japan's amazing. The people are good. Yeah. Now that Tatsuro didn't win, a little bit tougher, but the UFC will come to Japan. Mark my words. All right, you done with me? Thanks so much, everyone. Really, thank you so much for coming. Once again, like I said, we are slowly evolving into the new breed or the new chapter of who the UFC is and who our identity is. Really appreciate you coming. The sport is still young. Exciting times ahead. The White House is coming. And yes, we have 2 numbered events. You'll be finding out the locations very soon. UFC 328, that's a wrap, guys. Get home safe. Do your thing. And we'll see you next time. Appreciate it. Cheers.